Greetings, it's great to see you here. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all new videos and updates. Thanks for your support. I thought it'd be best if I informed you directly, Zakhar began, a hint of remorse in his voice. You'd have found out sooner or later, and well, just hear me out. I'm not proud of what happened, but there's no way to change it now. All I can say is that I learned a lot from that situation, because of it. He paused briefly before continuing. About a year ago, a girl joined our sales department. She was stunning and incredibly enigmatic. She kept details about herself to a minimum, preferring to stay aloof. I was captivated by her from the start, Zakhar admitted, his smile tinged with sadness. I started pursuing her, giving her flowers, showing genuine interest. She accepted everything in silence. A few times, she even agreed to have dinner with me. I thought our connection was growing, albeit slowly. However, around a month later, I found out that she was dating Ruslan. What surprised me even more was that they'd actually started seeing each other just a week after she joined the team. Wow, Christina exhaled sympathetically. That's quite unsettling. It was. It hit me pretty hard. Ruslan is my friend, and she. Zakhar trailed off, continuing. Anyway, they felt they needed to confess it to me. I was furious, and to be honest, I'm ashamed of what I did next, but I'm committed to sharing the truth. I spread a rumor across the office that they were in a relationship. In fact, I insinuated that she had only secured the job because she knew Ruslan. I blew it out of proportion, creating a huge spectacle. It became the talk of the office. To make matters worse, Ruslan experienced his first major setback in business that anyone could remember, and that just added fuel to the fire. Everyone assumed she was the reason behind his failure. Zakhar fell into silence. And what transpired afterward? Christina inquired. Afterward? Well, nothing. The girl eventually quit, and their relationship came to an end, Zakhar replied. It's not a particularly pleasant story, Christina concurred. You all handled it poorly. But it struck me that you and Ruslan were having a civil conversation today, at least until you approached me. Zakhar nodded. Our boss, Sergey, is an advocate of peace. He insisted on clearing the air, resolving the situation. So that's what we did. We talk at work. We maintain a courteous facade in public. Basically, we pretend everything is normal. I see, Christina said, her expression contemplative. She nibbled on her lip as she thought. Does this mean you don't want to go out with me anymore? Zakhar inquired. I don't know, Christina confessed. You can understand why I'd feel that way. They deliberately kept everything hidden from you. But your actions, they dismantled a relationship. It could have been real love. Perhaps they were destined for each other. You know, I still believe that if it were truly fate, my interference wouldn't have appended things, Zakhar mused. Christina, would you give me an opportunity to prove that I'm not a bad person? Zakhar, I'm sure you're a genuinely nice person, but please understand where I'm coming from too. I've just relocated to a new city. I'm adjusting to a new job and a new team. Right now, I'm not looking to start a romantic relationship. I prefer having friends over a romantic partner. Christina, but here's the deal. We'll go on one date, and after that, we can discuss things further. But I'm asking you to be patient. No expectations. We first need to figure out if we enjoy spending time together or not. What if we find we have nothing in common? Zakhar seemed to regain his typical self-assured demeanor. He offered a smile. The key point is that you've agreed to give me a chance, and trust me, I intend to make the most of it. Suppressing the urge to roll her eyes, Christina maintained a reserved smile. With each passing moment, she found herself less enamored with the guy. Yet, for strategic reasons, she wasn't prepared to dismiss him just yet. She required allies, and for now, maintaining his proximity seemed prudent. So she modestly smiled and gave a nod of agreement. "You can choose the place. I'm not familiar with the city," Christina suggested. "How about tomorrow?" Zakhar proposed. "Okay," Christina agreed. "I'll give you a call then." They spent some time at the cafe. "Shall I walk you out?" Zakhar inquired as they awaited the bill. "Thanks, but that's not necessary," Christina responded. "It's quite curious," Zakhar remarked with a smirk. "You always decline." "I just find it soothing to stroll and reflect on the day," Christina explained. "It's my personal time." "Is that something you dislike?" "No," he replied. "Actually, it sounds rather nice." Thank goodness, Christine thought to herself. At least he's not going to insist on knowing where I live. Zakhar extended an invitation for a date at a rather delightful restaurant. Christina appreciated the ambience, and the food was scrumptious. However, as she had anticipated, they struggled to find topics of conversation. Unwilling to divulge much about herself, she aimed to keep the dialogue minimal. Zakhar easily delved into discussions about work, but that seemed to be the extent of it. The girl suspected that Zakhar, too, had his own undisclosed matters. In an attempt to unearth even a sliver of common ground, she probed for shared interests. He enjoyed playing computer games and watching good movies, while she leaned towards reading and long walks. Swimming and running were her forte, while he favored team sports. "Is there really nothing at all?" Zakhar queried. "I'm becoming curious myself," Christina replied with a smile. "Do you have an affinity for music?" Not particularly. I mean, I don't dislike music, and sometimes I even have it playing in the background while working. But I wouldn't say I'm a fan. There are songs I enjoy, or melodies I find appealing. Yet I don't have any preferred artists or... Christina grinned. It seems we finally uncovered a point of commonality. "Listen, Christina, what about outdoor activities? I have plans for a rafting trip in a couple of weeks. Would you be interested in joining me?" Christina was drawn to this type of vacation. She had often engaged in camping with her friends, recognizing the significance of placing trust in those embarking on an adventure together. Interesting, she mused, not immediately offering a response. Who else is planning to attend? Will there be colleagues from work? "Yeah, a couple of guys from work might come," Zakhar replied. "Gianni is likely to join in as well, by the way." No, Christina promptly seized the opportunity to decline. "In that case, maybe it's not the best fit for me. You should let your coworkers see you in a more relaxed setting," Zakhar urged. "It's beneficial to blur the lines a bit." "No, it's too early," Christina responded. "Perhaps in a couple of months." Zakhar persisted in trying to convince her for a few more minutes before eventually giving up. As the date concluded and they headed home, Christina felt a wave of relief. She hoped that Zakhar would also find the evening satisfactory and not propose another outing. However, on Monday afternoon, Ruslan intercepted Christina. He took her hand and spoke in hushed tones. "Let's go somewhere quickly." They maneuvered through several turns and ended up in an unfamiliar section of the office, leaving Christina somewhat flustered. "Where are we?" she inquired. "Here," Ruslan gestured towards a door at the end of the corridor. "This is where the archives are located. That's why it's a rarely visited area. We can chat here without disturbances." Collecting herself, Christina took a deep breath and attempted to exude confidence. "Chat? About what? Has our charming colleague asked you out yet?" Just like that. Christina's surprise was palpable. "We barely know each other. Let's not waste time with superficialities, Ruslan replied. So what about our charming colleague? Why are you so invested? Christina retorted with a hint of sarcasm. Are you worried I'll steal him away from you? Darling, how could you even entertain such a thought? I'm concerned that you might be uninterested in him. He's rather dull. His existence is fueled solely by his appearance. He's not exactly brimming with intellectual substance. Christina's disappointment was evident as she lowered her head. Are you serious? Did you bring me here just to gloat about Zakhar? Is that how petty you are? Why don't the two of you resolve your issues without involving me? Turning toward the direction they had come from, she intended to leave. But Ruslan caught hold of her arm. I apologize, you're absolutely right. I've been acting childish. I brought you here because I wanted to ask you out on a date. I assure you, it'll be an unforgettable experience. Wow, Christina remarked. Quite confident, aren't you? What makes you assume I'd go out with you? I know almost nothing about you. Besides, I need to get back to work. And by the way, she turned her attention to Ruslan. Never grab my hand in the corridor like that again. I don't know how I'd react if someone saw. Bold move, she found herself saying, a smile tugging at her lips. I kind of like it. Let's see if you can maintain this confidence in a couple of weeks. Attention, dear viewers. The continuation of our story is near. To keep up to date, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click on the subscribe button and the bell to make sure you don't miss the next exciting episode. Thank you so much for your interest and support.